Hey guys, it's Rusty from Collector Auctions, and before I run today's show, I just wanted to give you a heads up that I am going to be doing a post-game analysis at the very end of the show. Today's show is a CGC unboxing, and I will admit right now that I had some pretty harsh reactions. And after the show today, I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about whether or not I actually got screwed over by CGC, or did I just get it plain wrong? So definitely stay tuned for the whole show, and immediately following, I will do a post-game wrap-up where I give some analysis on the books, we'll go over the graders' notes, and I will give you the values of the books at the grades that they received, and we'll see what I'm going to do afterwards. So definitely enjoy the show, and I'll be right back at the end for the follow-up. So definitely stay tuned for the whole thing today. I just got in the last books that I submitted to CGC at the Baltimore Comic-Con. Let's open up this box and see how I did. Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and I have got a CGC unboxing for you today. This right here are the books, the very last books that I submitted to CGC while at the Baltimore Comic-Con this year. It is a vintage order. It took the longest to get finished, and as of filming this right here, we are literally about 2 months past the Baltimore Comic-Con. I know this video is going to come out a lot later than that, but it really took a little over 2 months for these books to get to CGC, be graded, and finally get back into my hands. I do not know what the grades are. I resisted the urge once I saw that they were in grading and encapsulation, and once they were finally shipped, I did not look to see how I did. I'm a little nervous because I got some pretty good books in here. This was a very good submission of keys, but there's always that danger with some of these older books that there might have been color touch or something. I swear to God, I hope not, but we're going to find out real quick here. But before we begin, definitely hit that like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so if you guys won't miss out on any of the episodes that I put out each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. All right, guys, I'm not going to delay. I've got to get to work after the show, so we're going to speed it up a little bit. I've got the knife. Let's cut right into this, and if it gets noisy and takes a little while, I may speed up the video so you don't have to sit there through that. So stay tuned. I will be right back. All right, I've got the box opened up. We've got our shipping order right there. And as you can see, it is in that new bubble mailing that they send. I'm going to set this down on the floor so I can pull it out. All right, hang on. We're getting there. Okay, it's a nice capsule of books. I'm going to open this up, and hopefully I will not see the grades before I reveal them to you. So hang on again. All right, guys, I've got it set up. I avoided seeing the grades. I don't know how I did, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I did really well. A couple of these are definitely for the PC. Some of them are definitely for sale, so depending on how we did. I cleaned and pressed everything myself. I hope I didn't miss anything, but you never know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. All right, let's just start with the first book right here and see what we've got. All right, we've got a good one here. This is Shazam #1. This right here, I picked up at my local LCS, Cards, Comics, and Collectibles at a sale, I think back in Easter. They had a lot of copies of this. In fact, they had more copies that I considered picking up at the Thanksgiving sale this year, but I passed on them. But this book, I hope it did pretty good. There was definitely some shadowing on the book that I might have underestimated. I don't know. There was definitely some... What do you call it when the books have been sitting here in a stack and you get some dusting on the edge? There's a word for that. I cannot remember. But let's see how we did. 9.2. Not great. This is not, I actually expected better than that on this. I thought this was a really good book. We're definitely going to check out the grader's notes on each and every one of these and see how we did and see what I actually missed. But 9.2, it's not horrible, but some cases like this, I may just keep them on my PC, and in some cases, hopefully, if they're good enough, I might sell them too. So 9.2 on the first one here. Not off to a great start because I thought this was a really nice book. It'll be interesting to see what the grader's notes say. It is off-white to white pages. So we'll find out what they say, what I might have missed. All right, next up. Here's a good one. I ended up picking this up from Heritage Auctions. I have picked up several Avengers 55, the first appearance of Ultron, several times over the years. And I've been buying, over the last few years, I've bought raw copies from Heritage Auctions thinking that I could give them a clean press and actually improve on what the estimated grade was. We'll see how we did on this one right here. Ooh, that's really awful. I tell you, I think this is going to be an awful order. Right now, I don't know what I'm missing on that. But I will tell you that this is the best looking 6.5 I've ever seen. This is a pretty tight copy. Many grades lower than what I would have thought that this would have. It is a nice sharp cover. The back is nice and tight. Man, maybe there is something I've missed here. I don't know, but does not give me hope for the rest of the order, that's for sure. All right, let's continue with this very depressing order so far. All right, we've got Detective Comics 395. It is the first team up on Batman of Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. And this was a very nice copy. I picked this up from Heritage Auctions as well. And I don't know what to expect at this point. Most of these I'm picking up in that VF range. We'll see how we did on this one. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm expecting, guys. This right here is an order that is going south really quickly. I'm not very happy with this so far. And again, we'll find out what the grader's notes are, but I think I'm getting graded really harshly on this. This right here is an order that is, at this point, my gut reaction right now is to send this back in, crack every one of these, and do it again. I don't like putting the extra money back out for these, but I am not real happy so far on this. Let's go on to the next one. Marvel Premiere number 15, the first appearance of Iron Fist. And this is a copy I picked up from Infinity Comics, and this was a really nice copy. This right here will tell me if I'm getting overgraded or not, because I've got an 8.5 that's sitting over there. It's got some definitely visible damage that I have in my PC. It's my graded copy. It's my highest grade I've got on that. And this I bought from Infinity Comics, one of their auctions, and I thought this was a much better copy. Let's see how we did. Okay, so that one actually came out really good. Don't know what's exactly going on. I think what my gut is telling me right now that I've got a grader that is more in line with books from the 70s, these Bronze Age books, rather than some of the more Silver Age-ish type books. That's kind of what I'm thinking I'm getting here. Maybe what I'll need to do the next time is when I do a vintage order, I may do strictly Silver Age books. And if I do any Bronze Age vintage books, I'll keep them in the same order. But 9.6 on this, I guess I can't argue with that. This is a major grade bump. This is my real win, my only win so far. And we've got white pages. So I definitely picked up a good copy from Infinity Comics on that one. Let's continue with this, see if we continue to go up or down on this. All right, another book I picked up from Heritage Auctions. Probably one of the last books I actually picked up on Heritage, because I have since really cut back and not ordered anything from Heritage. At this point, I haven't been buying from them for a long time. This is one of the last books that I did pick up. It was listed as a near mint minus book, a book I had as a child. I love this book. Marvel 2-in-1, number 1. You've got this great Gil Kane cover. He may have done the artwork on the inside. I cannot remember. Got Man-Thing, got the Thing, one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. And I took a chance on this book, and I thought that this would have a really good chance of doing good. Let's keep my fingers crossed and see how this did. 9.4. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of disappointed. I was hoping for at least that 9.6 on this. And it may not be much of a great difference in what I was expecting, but to be quite honest with you, these books were immaculate. And I gotta say, again, I'm a little bit disappointed. And one of the things I will do, because I don't have it in front of me, is I will give you values, what the current market is for these books at these grades that I'm getting. I will put that on the screen so you guys can see it, because I don't have it in front of me. I'll have to look those up. But again, we'll take a look at the greatest notes and see how we did. Oh, this is not a fun order. Not a good way. I've had some really good success on most of the orders I got back from the books I submitted to Baltimore, but this is not one of them. And I expect this one to just go south just as much. This is Spider-Man 122. I thought this was a decent copy, not the best copy, but we'll see how they judge me on this one. This is, of course, the Death of the Green Goblin. This right here was the very first Spider-Man comic I ever got off the stands. This is where I began, really, my run on Spider-Man was with this issue right here. And in the past, I have actually got to see the original art to this cover in person at a Marvel traveling show. Just an absolute stunning piece of artwork. This right here, one of my favorite books. I've got an 8.5 in my PC right now. And honestly, I think this is going to go south of that, judging how harshly I'm getting judged right now. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I'm thinking is happening. 8.0. It's close to being where it should be, but not exactly where I thought it would be. I thought it might grade out a little bit better than an 8.5. I thought maybe a 9.0 at the best, at the most. So it's not a big grade difference, but still mildly disappointing on this one. But we got white pages. Don't worry, guys. We got white pages. I have a feeling that there's going to be some cracking open in my future right here. All right. I'm a little scared for these. These are some of the last books that I picked up at an Infinity Comics auction, the next two. And I picked up some Wonder Woman books. This is issue number 206. I believe it's the second appearance of Nubia. I'm not sure, but it is a bondage cover in this range right here, and this is after Superwoman. Wonder Woman got her powers back, and we've got some of these, the art team changed, and you had a lot of bondage covers in these early 200s right here, and I thought these were really good books. I didn't think they were 9/8, but I thought they were really good books. But this grader right here is scaring me, so I expect this to be awful. Let's see how we do. Yeah. Exactly. This is exactly what I'm expecting right now. Basically, bullshit grades from CGC. We'll see what the notes say, but honestly, at this point, it's bullshit, but we'll see how it goes when I look at the notes, see if there's anything I really missed. But I don't think so. Right now, every one of these at the moment, except for that Marvel premiere, is going to get cracked open. I mean, this is the greatest 8.5, didn't I just say that you'll ever see. This right here is an immaculate copy. I'm getting overgraded by CGC on this. I think there's definitely, this feels like a money grab. Let's make them submit these books again, and we'll charge them another 20 plus bucks a piece to get these graded. Yeah, I'm not happy. And I don't expect anything better for this one. This is issue number 205. And this is obviously a really nice bondage cover from Wonder Woman. And I expect exactly the same thing from this one. Let's see how we did. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I didn't even have to look, and I could have told you it was going to be at least an 8.0. It's bullshit from CGC. We're going to find out. I probably will crack these open at this point, because these books are not going to be worth keeping at these grades right here. I'd be better off cracking them open and reselling them for what it could be worth for an 8.0, I'm pretty sure, but not happy at all. Yeah, it's bullshit from CGC. So thanks a lot, CGC. I don't know what's going on with you guys this time. You were so good with all the other orders. What's up with it this time? All right, last book, and this is a book that I didn't really care what the grade was. It's the one book in here that is definitely a PC book. One of my favorite books ever since it got on my radar a couple years ago. And one of my all-time favorite characters is Uncle Scrooge, and Scrooge McDuck, of course. And this is his second appearance. It's 4-color, $189. This was a really nice copy that I bought off of Heritage. I'm sorry, I was going to say Heritage Auctions, but it's actually Infinity Auctions. And it's an expensive book. It's not that expensive. I've seen it. Trust me, I've been to antique malls where I've seen this book. I've been to stores where I've seen this book in worse condition for a lot more than I ever paid for it. And I thought it was in decent shape, and I didn't really care what the grade is. We'll see if I don't care in a second. Let's see how we did. Honestly, that's amazing. Honestly, with the damage on this book alone, the wear, the tear, I expected this to be around a 4.0, 4.5, the way this order was going. This one is a win. I'm a little shocked. This is better than I expected on this one. So we got 2 wins out of the rest of the bullshit order from CGC. I'm going to leave this one up here because it's nice. Let's take a quick look at it, though. This is from June of 1948. Again, it is the second appearance of Scrooge McDuck. And here's the other significance. Let me see if they even say it here. Yeah, they don't even say it. They don't put any key notes up here other than appearances by Huey, Dewey, and Louie and Donald. And they don't even mention Scrooge McDuck. They don't even mention it. They don't mention Scrooge, second appearance. It's also the first cover art by Carl Barks. Again, CGC, I don't know what you guys are doing, but this book right here is it's not a minor key. It is not the biggest key for Scrooge McDuck, but it is not a minor key. This is a definite key right here. I mean, you go in Key Collector, it tells you all this stuff. And 6.5 is really good. I'll be surprised to see what the value is on that. But this one's not for sale. This is a definitely keeper for me. So I'm happy about that. This one right here. Nice win right there. The rest of the books right there, I swear to God, I mean, unless there is something I've missed in the notes, and I will, in full transparency, not only will I give you the value, what the current value is that book is once I do the editing on this video. If there is, I will try to put the notes on there if there is something significant that I've lost. I mean, if it says minor creases and things like that, I'm not going to put that on the video. But if there is, like, let's say a major stain that I completely missed or something like that, I'll put that on there. And I may add a few more commentaries on there if I see anything else. We'll see. But right now, I basically got to sign off and get out of here before I lose my mind anymore. Ugh. Awful order. 2 really good ones. This one's fantastic. That one will be displayed here in the house. I am so proud of this one right there. So I don't know what to make of this. This, of course, is the oldest book in the submission. And some of the stuff I said earlier about maybe I need to do Silver Age or Golden Age and Silver Age graders, keep those books together, keep the more modern vintage books together. It didn't really pay off. Those Wonder Woman books are just a little bit older than that Marvel Premiere, and man, they look really good. I mean, I don't know what I'm missing on this. I mean, yes, there is... Is it foxing? I mean, it's not... I mean, it's the color break. There is a very minor color break. I mean, it's not pages missing, or else I'd get a green label, right? Or something like that, right? Or is it purple? I never know. But, man, this is a really nice copy. CGC, I'm calling you out on your bullshit. These books are going to get cracked open, and I'm sending them back in, but at some point. But we'll, again, guys, I will put notes on the video, on the editing here, once I'm done, and try to give you some more insight into what I'm finding. But that's it for today, guys. Definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you're getting back from CGC, and if you're happy with what you're getting back, or are you finding a similar result in a lot of your books? My modern books have been really good. This is the only vintage order I've had in here, and boy, it just blew up in my face. And this was a lot of money to have to do this, and I'm kind of pissed about that at this point. So I'm going to sign off. Leave me a comment, like I said. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about everything, and I'll respond to you when I calm down, definitely. But guys, I'm out of here. You guys have a great day. I'll see you for the next episode, and remember, every comic has a story. All right, guys, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that episode. As I said, I definitely had some pretty harsh reaction to that. And my immediate take during that show when I was opening those boxes up, or that box up, I was pissed. And you could tell I was pissed. And afterwards, I sat down and I went through the grader's notes and I went through the books. And I guess the thing right now is, did I really get screwed over by CGC? Were they wrong? Or was I wrong? And that's what I wanted to go through right now for this little post-game analysis. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each book, and you'll have to apologize. I've got my notes right here, so I'm going to be referring to this a lot because it is a lot of information. So we'll just get right into it. So let's go right through the same books, the same order that I did on the show. Let's go through them right now. So first up was this Shazam #1. I got this 9.2. Again, I was not very happy with it, but even in the show, you heard me say that I thought there was some foxing or dust shadowing on there that I thought might be a problem. Well, the grader's notes were this. We've got fade left bottom of front cover, down here at the bottom, and that is true. There is a little hint of it there. And there is foxing on the right bottom of back cover, and I'd turn it around, but to be quite honest, I can't even see it. I knew there was something there, and there is a little bit of foxing, but I don't know if it was significant enough. What I'm not seeing on the grader's notes are any other defects, things that are pressable defects, or even color breaking defects, things that are non-pressable. The work on the rest of this book was immaculate. I think I did a really good job with the clean and press, with the tack iron, getting any kind of defects like that out. And my initial take is that it may be worth my while to get this book, crack it open, maybe look at it a little bit closer, maybe do another press. I don't know about that, but to resubmit it. A book like this, 9.2, really is only going for anywhere from $75 to $98 or $100. And it's honestly not even worth it. I paid as much for this book raw almost than what it is worth this right now. And honestly, I think I'm going to crack it open, even if I can get this up a little bit. My initial take on this book right now is that it was little overgraded. And that, of course, that was my take at the beginning of the regular show. The rest of the show was that these were overgraded. But my thing then was I didn't know what the defects were. What were they finding? But the defects were real. It's just a question of, do I think they were being a little too harsh on this book? I think they were. And I'm probably going to crack it open because, honestly, I have nothing to lose at this point on this book. And so I might do it just to maybe prove to myself that maybe I was wrong or maybe they're wrong. Maybe I get back the same grade. I don't know. I'm not going to be in a hurry to get it regraded, but I will submit it in the near future. All right, let's move on. I've got all the books sitting right here. This, of all of them, was probably one of the biggest disappointments. And this was a book that, as I said, I picked it up from Heritage Auctions. It was in that VF range, maybe Fine Plus, and I'd had good success finding raw books that had pressable defects off of Heritage Auctions. And I had actually done this 2 times prior on this exact same book. Well, Avengers 55. And I thought this was a really good candidate. And I, honestly, my take on that at the time was, what the living F did they do to this book? Well, why did they give me a 6.5? Well, here's the grader's notes. And this is the one that shocked me. There is a crease bottom right of the front cover right here, which breaks color. Well, it's a little hard to break color when there is no color. It's completely white. Now, there is a little bit of that corner is slightly missing right there. I mean, just the tip of that corner. So you don't have the exact square corner right there. So I don't know how they even say it breaks color, but it's because it's not really even there. And then the other thing was multiple crease, top left of back cover. And I mean, generally, it's got to be in this area somewhere up here. I can't see crap up there. I mean, I don't see a thing. But am I going to crack this open? The reason I'm not is because the other defect on here, it is a pop staple. This bottom staple over here is popped. And I swear to God, I don't think I did that. Although I can't prove it now. I didn't take photos at the time. I just knew the books came out really good. I could have overlooked that. I don't know. But this book right now, I am not going to do anything to it. I have, ever since I've been doing cleaning and pressing, one of my guides that I use is ETA Nick's guide to getting things graded. And he made up since he had done so much work over the years getting books graded, he had come up with a little chart with a lot of different information on what's the max grade you could get for certain defects. And it may not be 100% and things could change over time, but I still go off of that guide. And having a pop staple, honestly, one of the things that he said was you're not going to get anything more than a 6.0 with a pop staple, no matter how good the book is. So maybe I'm lucky it's only a 6.5. The book really is a beautiful presenting book. And this is one, because of that pop staple, I am not going to do anything other than probably just sell it on my eBay store and move on from it. This is a book that I just need to move on from and get away from it. I need this out of my PC right now. It's a little disappointing because I'd had so good luck on this book. I'd gotten an 8.5 one point. I got a 9.4 that did really well. This one I thought was going to end up in that. I mean, if it didn't have that pop staple, and I don't know about those other defects, but I honestly felt like this was a good 9.2 to 9.4 candidate at that point. But the pop staple just takes it out of contention altogether at this point. So this is a book I'm going to move on from. All right. I should say every one of these was a disappointment for the most part, except for two of them. You saw that in the video, the two that I was not disappointed in. This I was a little bit disappointed in. I felt like at the time when I got the book that it was at least an 8.5 to a 9.0 with an outside shot at a 9.2. But looking over the defects and looking a little closer at it, this is probably the closest to the ones I agree with their grade by a little bit. I still think it was overgraded, but here are the defects right here. We've got multiple creases, left bottom of back cover, which I can't see at all. I mean, I literally, where is it here? I had it here a second ago. I've literally got my flashlight that I use when I go to the comic shows to look for defects. I can't find any creases on the back spine at all, or at the multiple crease left bottom of back cover. I cannot find it at all. Spine stress front cover, yes, there are some color breaking ticks up through here. I think that's what they're referring to, but they're not exactly specific. Those I know are there. The one that I kind of knew was there, but I let it go, didn't think it was going to get judged harshly, was down here at the bottom. And I don't think you can see it right there. I may have to zoom in on that. There is a little smudge there, and you can tell it was somebody had a little bit of a fingerprint, a rub. It's not, it doesn't have a fingerprint in it, but it definitely has that, like it's been rubbed a little bit. And I'm not really sure how harsh that something like that should be graded. I feel like that's the big thing that knocked this book down. Honestly, I've really felt like this book would have been, I think it could have gotten to an 8.5, but right now it still is a pretty decent book at a 7.5. I've seen it go anywhere from $345, which is pretty good, down to $100, which isn't good at all. But it's a book that I will probably just move on from. I'm not going to, I'm trying to look here. Yeah, I don't exactly say I'm going to crack this out. I don't know if I'm going to or not. This is one that I might crack out and resubmit just to see if I can get a higher grade. I don't think I need to do much work other than look for those creases on the back cover more than anything. And maybe we get lucky and we get a different grader who had a lucky night the night before, and we get something a little bit higher. Any grade bumps on these at all, this is one that I wouldn't mind having 1 or 2 grade bumps up. That's all I really am asking. The other ones so far, before the ones I just presented and this one, I think could be bumped up a lot. But while I'm realizing that I messed up here a little bit, this right here, as I said, I'm just going to move on from it. Basically, it's a $91 to $130 comic as a 6.5. I want this out on my PC. So again, like I said, it's in my eBay store. If you all want a beautiful presenting copy of the first appearance of Ultron, here it is. I'm sorry, I forgot to give you the price breakdown on that. Again, this one could do pretty good, but I think I'm going to go ahead and crack it open and take that shot to try to get a slightly higher grade. All right, moving on to one of the 2 wins, and this was my big win out of this, was Marvel Premiere number 15, the first appearance of Iron Fist. Got this beautiful 9.6. Guys, this book right here, 9.6's the most recent sales have gone anywhere from $928 all the way up to $1,320. That's what they've gone for. But currently listed on eBay, there's not much listed at a 9.6 south of the $2,000 mark. So that's really good. But what's nice about CGC these days is they are giving you grader's notes at 6 or 9.6. So what's really nice these days is that CGC is giving you grader's notes on 9.6 all the way down. And it's nice to know what's the defect here. Why did this not hit that 9.8? Well, quite honest, for me, I didn't think it was going to get there because I felt like the spine corners, especially the top, was just a little soft. And honestly, I was hoping for in the 9.2, 9.4, to be quite honest. 9.6 I thought was fantastic. I didn't think of it as a gift grade, but looking at the grader's notes, it says spine stress lines cover. And looking under the light right here, it is an immaculate spine, but there's 2 little spots that could possibly be beneficial to actually crack this open and use the tack iron a little bit and try to get those out. It may be worth it. As I said, it's a $1,300 book maybe, but as a 9.8, this book goes from $3,500 to $4,200. That is a big leap right there. It may be worth it to crack this open, even though this is one of my wins. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section what you want me to do on this. I would be curious what your take on this would be. Do you risk it and crack it out and go for it again? Or let it go and be satisfied with the 9.6? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, let's move on. As I said, that was one of my wins, so it's a little hard for me to crack it open and take that risk. All right, Marvel 2-in-1, number 1, one of my favorite comics as a kid. Of course, what wasn't one of my favorite comics as a kid? This right here is the first ongoing series with The Thing. He did have the 2 issues in Marvel Feature, I think 11 and 12, and then we started this long run of team-ups in Marvel 2-in-1. Gil Kane artwork. I think John Romita worked on the cover too. I'm not going to rehash all that. Got a 9.4, and I'm going, this copy, I remember this copy, buying it. In fact, it is the very last thing I've ever bought or won off of Heritage Auctions. And this book right here was listed as a near mint minus, meaning that, man, that's a really good book to begin with. And I looked this book over. I thought I'd found everything. This book looks immaculate. There's no spine ticks, no spine stress. I gave it a clean and press. I worked on the spine. Corners are sharp. Everything's looking good, right? Okay, so we get it back. I get this 9.4. I'm like, what the hell? At the very least, a 9.6. I get it. But 9.4. Value in this is only now $125 to maybe $175. It's not what I wanted. I mean, honestly, I bought this as a resale because I felt like it was a fantastic copy with an outside shot at that 9.8. And what they gave me on this was crease, right top of front cover, breaks color. And I'm going, what? What? Where? Well, as it turns out, right here on the edge, it's almost like a finger crease. And it is slight. It is very slight. I mean, but it's about a 1/4 inch. But it's very faint. You can hardly even see it. Obviously, I missed that completely. And I had that book in my shop, and I'm looking it over. I had the good lights under there. Never saw it. And it's legit. So here's the thing. According to, as I go back to ETA Nick's guide again, 1/4 inch crease like that, 9.4, honestly, was about as high as you're going to get. And I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do anything to it. I don't think I can get this. There's nothing I can do to this book to get it up at this point. And the best I'm going to end up doing is maybe a 9.6, and it's just not worth my time. Value on a 9.4, $125 to $175. That's a price that, honestly, with the grading and the amount I spent on this book, I just need to sell it and get it out of this book. I'm going to move on from this book. This is not one that I'm going to crack open. This is a very beautiful book, but this is a book that I will sell and just move on from at this point. All right, coming up next is this Amazing Spider-Man 122, The Death of the Green Goblin. I got this 8.0. I didn't expect anything higher than maybe a 9, and maybe I'd hope a little bit higher, but it did have one tick over here. And I knew this. I bought the book, and I felt like that one little tick right there, I couldn't find any other defects. The corners are sharp. These corners are fantastic. The spine looks great. And I get this 8.0, and this is one that you saw me say, I felt like I was being overgraded. And I'm like, yeah, I felt, and I still feel that way. This book right here is better than the 8.5 that I currently have. Value is still really good on an 8.0. Some of the most current sales I saw on this, anywhere from $400 to $586. But I've also seen those exact same prices really for even a 9.0. That's the only thing that gives me pause about wanting to crack this open and sending it back. But let's go over the grader's notes. This is what I've got. Spine stress lines cover. Yes, I know. There's one right there. There's nothing else color breaking. So if there's any creases on the spine, if I crack it open, I should be able to get those out if I can find anything. Right now, I can't even see it. But the other one was crease left bottom of back cover. And again, I'm taking my really good flashlight that I use at the show to find defects, and I'm looking at this, and I can't find crap back here. I don't know what they're talking about. In most cases on these defects that they mentioned, I was able to find everything, or find most everything. This one, I can't find what's on there. So this one right here got graded, I think, too harshly. I'm going to crack it open and I'm going to resubmit it, and hopefully we'll get something better than this right there. It just disappoints me. I don't, that feeling that I've been used to get money and then I'm going to give them more money hasn't gone away at this point. I can't say that I'm completely feel like I'm screwed over like I was saying in the show, but it kind of feels that way a little bit. I just think I got a really harsh grader. I don't think this is a CGC money grabber or anything. So if CGC is watching, guys, I'm not saying you're money grabbing at this point. I feel like you just had a grader that was really harsh, and maybe he needed to have a cup of coffee before he started grading or something. I don't know. Maybe he was really grouchy that day. But this one will be resubmitted at some point. All right, that brings us to these two beautiful copies of Wonder Woman. This is issue 206. This is the Origin of Nubia. This is a fantastic looking copy. 8.5, though, only gets you around that $112 to $150. It's still a desirable book, but at an 8.5, I felt like it was so much better. I still think this is at least a 9.4, even with the grader's notes. Crease, right top of front cover. And I'm still, it is slight. There is something up there. I mean, it is, there's something there. It's more like a slight finger crease more than anything, I think. I mean, it's almost impossible to see it. And this is one, again, I feel like the severity of the grade doesn't match the condition of that defect right there. It's just, I know these things get knocked down a little bit, but boy, according to ETA Nick, again, that 9.4 for a crease like that, that breaks color like that, it shouldn't, 9.4 is where it should have been because there's no other defects. The spine's fantastic. There's no creases. There's no other defects mentioned. I can't find anything else. This is one that's definitely going to go back in. I'm cracking this one open. Even though the price only goes up a little bit for even go up to a 9.4, to me, this right here is on principle. I'm going to break this one back open because I think that the defects got overgraded on this one right here. I could be wrong. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, the other Wonder Woman book right here had a few additional defects compared to 206. This is 205. A little bit more risque bondage cover there. This right here, though, is even more valuable because of the cover. $143 to $150, give or take. That's some of the recent sales for an 8.0. So it would definitely be worth it to hopefully get a grade bump on this. I think this thing can go up to at least a 9. God forbid a 9.2. I don't know exactly. What do I know at this point? I feel like I don't know anything after today's video. Crease, left bottom of back cover, and it's right there, and I could find it. And I may be able to crack this open and with a roller ball get that out just a little bit more, but it's still a little bit less than a 1/4 inch dog ear, basically, and that white on the back cover. It's there. I can't do anything about that. That should have knocked it down to a 9.4, probably. And crease, right top of front cover breaks color. And it took me a half hour to find this up here. Inside of the 0 right there, and you're not going to be able to see it because I can barely see it. There is a very slight breakage of color. I mean, it's almost like a color rub more than anything, and it's not even, it's so faint. I never saw it. I never saw it when I was doing this book. You look over this book, it looks immaculate. If anything, the biggest defect was, to me, there was a spine tick they don't even mention. But again, I think this is easily a 9.0, if not a 9.2, with a gift of maybe a 9.4 at this point. I don't know. It's getting cracked open and going to be submitted again. This one I remember when I did the reveal earlier in today's video, and it's been a few days since I did that video, so I've had a chance to look at everything. And I'm still a little upset over this. This one I just felt like, I think what was happening at a certain point, they had knocked some of them down so far that when they get to another book that had slightly more defects, they have to knock it down even further. I may send these in smaller groups. I think I said during the video that I might also try to group my vintage books by era slightly differently. I may do the 70s books together, whereas I do the Silver Age together, or maybe the Golden Age together. Just kind of separate them, and also by condition. I may try to, books that I think are really high grade, I may try to keep them together. I don't know yet. Got to think on that. But that brings us to the last book of the day. This right here was my other win, I think. This copy of 4-Color 189, the second appearance of Scrooge McDuck. I still don't understand why CGC does not list any of this. It's a Scrooge McDuck appearance. It's his second appearance. First Carl Barks cover. I mean, how much better can you get? This book is pretty rough, though. And it's got little pieces out down here in the corner that actually goes around to the back right there. There's a little bit of a piece that's kind of missing right there, although it pressed out nicely. The back cover looks really good. It's clean, except for that little corner. The cover has got, what's nice, I mean, you've got a dog ear here that's, I don't know, about 1.5 inches. It's slight, but there's a dog ear color breaking there. You've got creases right there. You've got all kinds of damage on this. And I felt in the video, when you saw it, I was shocked. I would have expected the way I was getting graded on some of those other books. I mean, you take a book like this and you give me an 8.5, and it took me a while to find the defect. This one, you can see the defects. They're right there. They're right there in front of you. And I felt like a 6.5 was fantastic for that. Book at a 6.5 is roughly around a $460 range book right there. But it's not for sale, guys. This book is a PC book all the way. I'm still happy about keeping this one. I even wrote on my notes, super happy. That was my notes. But I'll give you the grader's notes on this one too. Multiple crease cover breaks color. Spine stress lines cover breaks color. Yes, I know. Wear bottom of spine, wear top of spine. Those are all legit. So everything I just said, right? And I felt like a 6.5 was really good for that, considering, like I said, everything else going on today. But guys, that is it. So here, real quick, let's just do the wrap up. The big question, did CGC screw me over, or was I just plain wrong? And the answer is, I think that I got graded harshly. I don't think I got screwed over exactly. I just don't think I had any favors done for me. My reaction was probably a little too harsh, but not unjustified. I'll put it that way. I think these books need another go through for the most part. 2 of them are going to be just sold the way they are. I'm keeping 2 of these in the PC, although I may crack open that Marvel Premiere if I'm feeling really gutsy. But the rest of them are all going to get cracked open, and I'm going to resubmit them. And once I get them out and we get them away from the plastic, we'll really see if truly some of the defects are really there. I know a couple of them I can definitely see, but some of those spine stresses and things, I can't see through this plastic. Even with the best lighting, I still can't see it. So hopefully CGC won't shadow ban me or really target me on this, because I've seen some of that out there from people like Jerry the Jitterbug on some of his videos. He's had issues being too harsh about CGC. I'm going to say that I was just graded too harshly, I think, and that I'll give it another shot. So we'll go from there. And at some point, we'll do another CGC unboxing, and we'll do a follow-up on that and see if we had a grade bump, or God forbid it got even worse. I don't know. But guys, thank you for sticking in here for this last part. I know this video is going to go long because of this part of the video today, but I wanted to immediately follow up and give you a follow-up on everything, so you guys can get a full picture of everything that's went on with this CGC unboxing. So definitely leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know, again, what you think about all the books and if I'm going about this the right way at this point. So guys, I'm out of here. Again, have a great day. Thanks for sticking in there with me, and I will see you for the next episode. Just remember, every comic has a story.